I can tell you. I can tell you definitively.
I can certify.
Yeah, thank you.
One thing, by the way,
Let him just finish.
hold on. Is this vote closed, by the way?
Speaker Johnson is leaving the floor of the House right
And
now.
what is that? Where he's going is the back room.
The vote is not closed, we should note. It has not been gavelled closed.
And we did not see who was in the room, that back room, right off the House floor. It's not the cloakroom. It's actually where the head of the pages used to have an office.
Real quick, the vote to confirm Mike Johnson's speakership had a couple of bumps among Republicans, with this moment being the biggest. It came right after 3 fellow GOPers voted against him when he could only lose 1 to make it across the finish line.
He needs these 2 votes to win, doesn't he?
Right. Assuming he can't get Massey, he needs those 2.
He's not going to get Massey. I think we can probably call that off the table.
It seems extremely unlikely. Yes.
There he goes with Keith Self and Ralph Norman, the 3 of them, right? There they go. Okay. That's Ralph Norman in the lead, who was not expected to not vote for Mike Johnson. And Keith Self was kind of a bit of a surprise, too, wasn't he? He wasn't on our list to watches.
They're leaving the floor.
With the speaker, right?
Yep.
Mike Johnson huddled with some allies and advisors to Donald Trump after these 3 publicly made it known that they had other members on their minds to replace him.
Massey.
Emmer.
Emmer. Norman. Jordan. Self. Donalds.
So since Thomas Massey was never going to switch his vote, Johnson's crew focused in on convincing Representatives Self and Norman to keep the vote from going to a second and third and ongoing set of votes. But he vowed not to negotiate or take part in any quid pro quo with anyone that opposed him. So now we're left wondering if he followed through on that promise in their closed-door meetings. So during these tense moments, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who also voted for Johnson, was sitting with her buddy Thomas Massey and even shared a laugh or two with him between calls that she was making with her mouth completely covered, like she was an offensive coordinator or something, trying to keep the defense from reading the play.
Because, I mean, the voters who voted for Donald Trump also voted for these bomb throwers. I mean, all of them come from heavy Trump districts. These are not swing district Republicans. Tom Massey, Chip Roy, I mean, Ralph Norman.
What happened?
Well, we knew that there were some Republicans who were unhappy with Johnson and talked about, if not voting against him, voting present or not voting. We knew Tom Massey of Kentucky definitely was not going to vote for Johnson. But we had more, certainly, than I had anticipated.
After this semi-anticlimactic vote, they saw several Republicans like Chip Roy, Andy Biggs, and Paul Gosar go silent before eventually giving Johnson their support. And then with Representative Norman and Self needing a private meeting to get theirs, the next Congress's moves may be altered based on what they were told or what they told Mike Johnson and his aides, or even Donald Trump and his boss, Elon Musk. But you know what? We'll never really know.
This is all a bridge to nowhere. I mean, all these people voting no, voting present. To what end is the Republican Party doing this? And I think this is probably what Donald Trump's frustration is and why he's putting so much time and effort into getting Johnson elected here. There's no alternative. You know, these no votes, present vote, there's no alternative. Johnson's the only one who can do this today. And the sooner he does it, the better off Trump will be and the better off the Republican Party will be. The Republican voters of this country elected Trump and these people to do things, not fight amongst themselves. They want to fight somebody, there's a whole bunch of Democrats in there they can fight with. So I hope that message is being delivered. I know people have policy preferences and are upset about this, that, and the other, but you can't fix any of it until you get leadership elected.
Mr. Norman is recorded as Jordan. Mr. Norman, Johnson. Mr. Self is recorded as Donalds. Mr. Self, Johnson.